Hello, my name is Lourdes Leiner. I am an independent author, and I'm going to be hosting your poetry workshop through Writer's Hive for 2025. And we're going to make writing the future present. So, I'd like to first introduce my body of works to you so you can understand my background and the things that I specialize in. My first series, titled Stitches, is up here in the corner. And this one goes into a collection of inner writings that I made all throughout my early stages of development. I had a life-threatening surgery, and I write throughout the process and talk about the process of healing within this work. This is the first body of work that I had ever published under my name, and it helped launch my career as a literary artist. From there, I followed up with the work of Spit It Out, which is one of my best sellers across Arizona and across the United States. And here I archive all kinds of perspectives from musicians, artists, bands, creatives, and even the underground in our communities, specifically in Tucson and in Arizona, to highlight voices in the Southwest. This work ended up opening amazing doors and opportunities for me as an author, and it is one of my bestsellers, so I hold it very near and dear to my heart. My third one is Spider Silk. It is a more mysterious, introspective version. I started taking on roles in my community and curating arts and more mysterious perspectives and bringing a lot more nuance. I talk about how something as small as a spider can have a larger cosmic experience based off of how it builds its webs and carry on from that metaphor to basically talk about consciousness and how we perceive ourselves and our subconscious mind throughout the works in this poetry piece. And my most recent publication, Sabotage, is a collection of poetry and gonzo journalism all throughout the southwest of the United States. And this one depicts all kinds of perspectives all throughout the southwest, from Tucson to Phoenix to California, and then all the way up and through Denver and New Mexico while I'm on tour sharing my works. I am also archiving all kinds of perspectives across biomes. We go from the ocean to pine trees, then back down to saguaros. And we talk about mental health throughout the entire way. And curating this piece helped me raise a large sum of donations for the Suicide Foundation, which was a pleasure to do. And now I want to bring through some of the curriculum that I have started creating for the University of Arizona. So once I took on that role through Sabotage, I launched an anthology program through the university. These are two of the works that have been published as of this month that curate works from children in education programs. So we're looking anywhere from K to sixth grade, all the way to sixth grade until high school. So in this first one, this is work I've curated with fourth graders talking about their community and why their voice matters. And we introduce in the actual education environment a means for creative expression, which is quite rare in education within literary arts. So it was a blessing to be a part of this program, and the things that were brought out across here are incredible. I want to read you a quick snippet from one of my classes. This one piece talks about a beginning prompt, and then from there we continue forward. So this is from a 10th grader, and her name is Adeline, and she reads about her family traditions. And she says, my family tradition on Christmas Eve at midnight is we open presents and we eat tamales, pozole, and menudo. And on Thanksgiving, we all gather together and we make beautiful swirls and colors and have a great view and dream together, me and my family and our heritage. So that is from a 10-year-old that was a part of this program that we curated for this anthology. And since we have curated this perspective, I want to introduce to you some of the curriculum that we use with our students. I think it would be helpful to give you a little bit of an insight here. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get presenting on something that we brought to the classroom environment that is simple, but because it has curated such a vibrant world from such young children, I want to also introduce it to you to help you connect a lot with your inner child. So, in this lecture, we discuss how poetry makes music and how our words have power. So, poetry and music have been deeply intertwined for thousands of years, from ancient Greece all the way until ancient China, and many more cultures in between within ancient perspectives. In ancient Greece, a lot of early songwriting was brought and introduced to young men that were often seen as violent within the cultural perspective, and they were given this avenue where they would be taught how to, one, play instruments, two, songwrite, and three, write in the prose, similar to sonnets. As well as in ancient China, they incorporated some of the earliest song structures that existed within their society through the prose of poetry. So this goes to show through the heritage of the mediums of poetry and the mediums of music, there's always been an overlap from in-depth lyricism to iambic pentameter and rhyme scheme, mimicking that of harmony and rhythm. So from here, we would shift the perspective from ancient societies to current, to modern day. What does poetry and music look like now? I explore you to take times to reflect on moments where you've been moved by poetry, moments where you've been moved by music, and what lies in between that. And how can we pull from things that we're already naturally drawn to inspire us throughout this workshop? So, what I would do with these students, since they have limited exposure to poetry, but music more than ever is more prominent in our society through streaming services and adaptation of technology. Music is everywhere you go. So, we like to draw from the idea of a favorite song, a favorite poem, and spend time to reflect with the message in this piece. So, I invite you now, before we continue the writing process of this workshop, to reflect upon your favorite song, to take time to sit with it, maybe play, listen to it, flip through the lyrics, pull it up on Spotify, scroll through the lyric options, give it a few more listens, spend time to connect on what is in that song that makes it moving to you. What is the message? Is there a message? Is it the rhythm? Is it the scheme? Can you think of things in the song that actually evoke from your subconscious mind? Can you think of experiences that you have in common with this song? And what about your existence connects you to that song? And so often within this experiences of my students, it went from their perspective of poetry to now their internal connection with a body of artwork, and they're able to evoke from that point of connection for inspiration. So I hope that this purveys a source of inspiration for you. Why do you have favorite songs? Why do you have favorite movies? Why is that? Do you feel seen in this work? Do you feel heard in this work? Is this work saying something that you may not have been able to put into words before this? How can we explore this more? How can you evoke this same mind space that you connect to within your work for your poetry, for your writing, to purvey that to your audience? Give them maybe a space for reflection, or a space for expression, or a space for connection, right? So this is a time when I would pause our entire learning environment. Again, I'm educating 10-year-olds in this case. I'm educating anyone who takes time to reflect on this workshop. So take a moment to write about it. What is coming to mind here? I hope that you have a pen and paper with you, and I hope you're jotting down your favorite song you thought about last week. Maybe your go-to favorite. Maybe the song of a loved one. Something that's evoking experience now. Do you have things that are you're it's sensing in your body? Is there anxiousness having to be put on the spot for finding a favorite? Is there excitement for realizing that maybe the reason why I like this song isn't just the catchy rhythm, but really the deep lyricism that connects with something from my past that I have difficulty making space for in common conversation? Is part of my soul speaking, right? And poetry, that is a well. That's a well to draw from. That's a vast place that you can mine life experiences. And once you're in that reflective space, once you're primed and and thinking about these sources of inspiration and sitting with your feelings, this is when I would invite my students and as well as members of this workshop to pause at any time and deeply reflect before writing. And writing can look like anything from writing the sensations of your body right now, having a more logical, reflective perspective on the lyricism, right? You could even play with the prose of the songwriting in general of your favorite song to pull it to something you feel in the current, right? Even if it's an old classic, you can rework this, right? We just talked about ancient cultures. You could pull perspectives from maybe some ancient songs that you feel connected to and reframe them to something in the current day, right? And carry and evoke a lot of those themes of humanity, those persisting themes of humanity that are especially present within poetry and music. So from this is a great time to highlight the importance of poetry and music within this workshop. So please pause, take time to write, talk about your experiences with a loved one, carry this with you because music and poetry not only help us to educate, right? By varying emotional states, by points in history, right? It's like a finger on the pulse. It's a mirror that's held to society. And not only inspire us to continue to create, but from that inspiration of vulnerability, we can connect and we can share and we can add to the world of experience through expression. And poetry and music are so vital in that essence of expression. So I invite you to follow my 10th grade students and educate yourself, inspire yourself, express yourself through poetry and music, and draw from those current experiences, archive them, and at any point in time you have questions, please reach out to the Writers Hive staff. They are amazing and fantastic, and they do so much to assist the literary world. Again, if you are curious about any of the work or background I do as a full-time professional author, I do implore you to explore www.feralghoulfriend.com. You can find more resources there. You can explore my body of work. You can explore education programs that I'm associated with, as well as more mediums to express. Maybe you're curious about publishing. Maybe you're curious about backgrounds in poetry and education and how that can benefit perspectives in our community. Maybe you're curious about my conversations about mental health and the nuance that I'm able to purvey within my work. By all means, I implore you to express it. Again, it was lovely taking this time to reflect with you in this workshop upon music and poetry. If you have questions, please reach out to Writers Hive, like I had mentioned before, or explore more of my stuff through the name Lourdes Leiner. You can find me through the University of Arizona. I'm also traveling at this point through the United States from July until the end of August. I will be in New York as well as London, and I will be going to the New York Poetry Foundation. So if you have any questions about experiences publishing, please reach out to me if you have questions about how to connect with the New York Poetry Foundation or Roehampton University or Oxford. Please feel free to connect and shoot some information at feralghoulfriend.com. I'm also on social media, so if you'd like to keep up with this journey, reach out to me about pieces that you have written about music and poetry. I implore you to. It would be a great compliment for you to follow the work of this recent anthology and keep the momentum going, keep the expressive nature of poetry and music going, and keep it alive. Again, thank you for your time and your attention, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.